Good evening, everybody, and welcome to the April meeting of the Oak Hills Park Authority. First item of the agenda is call to order, which I've just done. Second item is a roll call. So when I call your name, if you could just indicate that you are here, aye, or just whatever. So Alan Dutton is here. Denise Brown.
Here.
Gary Leeds.
Here.
Jeff Schweitzer.
I'm here.
Jennifer McAllister.
Here.
Richard Dellinger.
Here.
TJ Tromboli.
Here.
We have a quorum, and Mary Vera will not be joining us. She's at a concert. That's our roll call. Item 3 on the agenda is the acceptance of the minutes. And would someone please move to accept the minutes?
So moved.
Gary Leeds. Do we have a second, please?
I'll make a second.
Rich Dellinger seconded. Any discussion? So I did take a look, and on page 1, bottom of the page, the minute says corrected passed with 4 in favor. I think that should be changed from with 4 in favor to unanimously. That's on page 1. On page 2, on the bottom paragraph, it says in response to Mr. Brown, Mr. Lloyd, and Mr. Lloyd is spelled wrong. It's double L-O-Y-D. There is no E-D, so that should be changed on page 2. On page 3, second paragraph, Miss Verrill stated she created the long-range plan and submitted to Mr. Gardner. She then mentioned she had the Bot Scouts. I think that should read the Boy Scouts. That's on page 3. That's everything I saw. Did any other committee members see anything, any of the changes that need to be made on the minutes?
Yeah, Alan, I see 2 on page 4.
Yep.
So at the top of the page, it says N.R. Dutton instead of Mr. Dutton. And then as you go down under the executive session, your name is spelled with an I.
Yes.
Mr.
How,
Dweet.
how did I miss these
How
things?
did you miss your own name, Alan?
I don't know. Guess I'm looking to change it. Thank you, Denise, for spelling my name correctly. It's a bit like Yellowstone, I think. But anyway, any other changes or errors or omissions? Okay, there being none, I would like to propose that we accept the minutes as amended. All those in favor, please say aye.
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 Any opposed? Any abstentions? The minutes are amended as we have stated. And the next item on the agenda is public participation. James, is there anybody wishing to participate in public participation? Anybody in the waiting room? If so, would they please raise their hand and indicate so?
There appears to be one person, and they are not speaking up. So I think you could probably safe to move ahead, Alan.
Yeah.
Okay, so public participation is now closed. Item 5 on the agenda is reports. Chairman's report. Basically not a lot to report at this particular meeting. At our next meeting, the 2025-2026 operating budget will be presented by Mark Gardner, and then we will actually vote on that particular presentation on the budget at the June meeting. So that is a schedule, so we can expect the budget, the first run on the budget as prepared by management team to be presented to us at the May meeting. And We do have executive session coming up, in which we will discuss the contract tennis, upcoming contract tennis, which will run out at the end of September. And that's all I have. Next item on the agenda is reports. Under reports, the restaurant. John Lloyd. Do we have John with us? I do not see John with us at this moment in time. So we will either wait and see if we can add him later, or we'll wait and see what happens. Under Nature Advisory, I believe Mary Verrill is not with us, but I think Richard, you may be able to give us a report on this under item C.
Sure, Alan, thanks. Mary sent me some notes. I'll just read from her notes. Just a few points of what's happening with the Nature Advisory Committee. So far this year, they have had 2 trail cleanups that were very successful. In fact, many of Mark and Jim and Gary and Denise helped for some of them. And they basically helped clear the trails, cut back some invasives, and it was a good, very successful time. Some scouts are coming May 4th from 11 to 3 for also helping to clean the trails. And Mary's inviting everyone to join in if you want to come May 4th from 11 to 3 for another trail cleanup. Next Tuesday, April 22nd, from 9:30 to 11:30, there's going to be another, what Mary describes as a mudwort harvest. I had to look up what a mudwort was. I'm sure Jim Shell knows, but anyway, it's an invasive plant that they're going to try to pull out in the Great Lawn. So they're going to be doing that next Tuesday morning. The bluebird boxes are up and hopefully being occupied, one on the Great Lawn, one on the tennis. The alternative lawn demonstration by the Fountain Garden isn't coming up as planned, and she's going to speak to Mike Papa, who did the work, and he's been called back to address it. So it doesn't look like it's flourishing right now. So we'll get some. Mark knows better than you see it probably more than others. It's still looking muddy.
It's just a pile of dirt with a couple of sprigs of the original grass coming through.
And it's been that way for a long time, I think. Yeah. So there's going to be some Norwalk gardeners coming to do more planting around the Fountain Garden. Mary's involved with that. And then on April 26th, there's Earth Day on the green, the Norwalk Green. And Mary's inviting everyone to sign up for an hour or two if you're interested in helping on the green between 11 and 3 at the table with she'll gladly pencil you in. And 2 more. One, we are starting to conceptualize long-term plans for the nature area and nature center, guided trail walks, bird watching events, lunch and learn. I'm mostly excited about the lunch and learn, the idea of having something at the restaurant, say a tree identification or bird identification, and then going out and doing a walk. So I think that'll be, I'm looking forward and excited about that. And lastly, I know Mary went with one of the tennis friends to the tennis center, and they're looking to do some planting around the courts and developing the lawn area and wooded areas around as functional ecosystems for wildlife and people. So that's basically Mary's report. Any questions? I don't know if I can answer them, but we could always tell Mary to come back. Mark, you know better most about anything else that I left off? Or?
No, you hit it all, man. That's good.
Oh yeah, I can read barely.
Thank you. So no other questions for the very good report, Mary. Thank you in your absence, and Richard. Very well delivered, may I say. Must be something to do with your background, I think. Okay, item D on reports is tennis. Denise.
Good evening, everybody. I've noticed that the courts are being worked on by the Davis Company, and it looks like they've almost completed 7 and 8. The lines are down, the rollers on the court. So it looks like that court is almost set up. So now they got to move to the large 1 through 6 courts. I think they were there yesterday and today. So opening day is May 12th. That's still on the schedule. Hopefully that'll be the day that we get back on the courts. And I just wanted to thank you, Jim Holliday, for your updating of the tennis center for the painting and the new flooring. It looks really well. And let's see, we are going to be purchasing trees with the help of Jim Shell. We're going to be purchasing 18, they're pine trees. Jim, are they in the arborvitae family?
They are. They are.
Okay.
It's the green giant variety. They're deer resistant and they will grow taller than any other arborvitae.
And they're starting out around 7 feet?
Yes.
Yeah, okay, so there's gonna be 18 of those that are gonna go along the back wall, not the wall, along the back side of the fence that runs along the golf course. And then there's also 3 deciduous trees that are coming in that Jim's going to decide where he wants to put them. And they are to kind of get the golfers to discourage them from hitting their golf balls towards the tennis court. So they will be planted in a position that would have them, you know, hit their balls in a different direction, hopefully. Like it's called the left leg, Jim. Is that how that tee is supposed to be?
Dog leg left. Yeah.
Dog leg left. Okay. And so that'll be happening in the next couple of weeks. And thank you very much, Mark, for the great news. We received our grant money today from the USTA for $23,750, which went towards the upgrading of the courts 1 through 6. And I think, Mark, you already put it in the bank. So
It's in the bank.
kudos to you. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Any questions for Denise and tennis?
If I may, Mr. Chairman, I'd like to just make a comment to thank Denise, who with Chris Hulse were the 2 people who principally completed the application to USTA. So without their efforts would not have happened. So good work, Denise, and thank you.
Very
I'd
well.
like to echo to thank Denise and also tennis friends in general for the amount of fundraising and grants that we get. It's a marvelous job, and thank you so much, all of you, and well done. Next item, item E, supporters of Oak Hills Park. Jerry.
Hi, I have no report this evening.
Jerry, it's always nice to see you. You know that, right?
Right, it's nice to be seen.
Thanks
Twice
for
in one
coming,
day.
Jerry.
Any questions for Jerry at this time? There being none, we can move on to item F, long-term planning. Gary.
Okay, as you can hear from Mary, her group's working on long-term plan. I have not interfaced with them. I know TJ is working on his side. Denise, the last time I talked to her, her group was working, so things are moving forward, but I don't have anything specific or details to present at this time.
Thank you, Gary. Any questions for Gary, long-range planning? There being none, we'll move on to our professional reports now. For reports, starting item number G on the reports, our golf professional, Paul.
Thank you, Alan. Good evening. So April is here and the golf season has started, but unfortunately, it's been a really slow start to the season due to the weather. It's been cold, windy, and I expect the season to really get going for us tomorrow. But our golf shop hours are now 7:30 to 5, and the course is open at 8 o'clock to 5 p.m. This Saturday and Sunday, tee times will begin at 6:30, and the golf shop is open till 5:30. Presently, we have 9 people on staff for our golf shop operations and 22 outside. We've hired 5 new staff members, 1 inside the golf shop and the other 4 for outside operations. 49 annual passes have been sold this year. We have 1 more to go. 708 golf memberships have been sold since January 1. Typically, we're around the 1,250 number, and I expect now that the weather gets warm, we're going to see another big jump in golf memberships once people start showing up. The outing schedule is set. We have 24 outings on the schedule. We only have 1 open date, and that was because somebody canceled for May 19th. And then the Oak Hills Men's Association, the Women's Association, and the 9 holers have all had their spring meetings, and their attendance was very good, very organized. they're ready to get going for the season. Our 4UP software, T-Sheet, and POS are working really well. I know our golfers are fairly happy with the booking process, and everybody in the golf shop, including myself, getting really familiar with maneuvering through this new software. And again, Steve Shepard's been really helpful teaching us all. The golf shop has been stocked fully with 2025 merchandise, lots of new stuff, plenty of it this year, hopefully not too much. And recently I attended our Met PGA spring meeting. We probably had 200 golf professionals together, gave away some awards. Good to see everybody. Had some great speakers from the PGA of America show up. I went to a Callaway 2025 new product launch seminar at Demo Day, learned a lot about all their new equipment. And I also completed a training program to become certified through the PGA Hope program to teach the game of golf to our USA veterans who have disabilities. And I'll probably go lend my services at some various clubs the next month or two. We're just teaching some veterans. And then I hope to have a day here at Oak Hills one day where we can get a lot of veterans to show up. Anyway, golf numbers across the board all around the United States look pretty good. Everything looks strong, and we're just ready, waiting, and looking forward to a busy spring here. And we think 2025 is going to be great. Thank you.
Thank you, Paul. Any questions for Paul?
My usual question, how is Odine's and the outings interfacing? Do we know?
I would say, and Jim Holiday could talk a little more. We have one or two who maybe aren't a little too happy with our new policy as far as having support our restaurant, meaning they have great services there, great food. We're asking you got to use the food, but it's really about the alcohol. We're really not allowing any more alcohol on premises, and because some outings have been doing that for 20 years, they're not quite that happy. But I think they all understand, and it'll be okay moving forward.
Okay, thank you, Paul.
Oh, just I got actually a note from Gary about the PGA Superstore opening up over on Richards Avenue in July, I think. Is any benefit to Oak Hills by having a PGA Superstore around the block, around the corner?
Actually, it could be a deterrent because it's really not good for a small businessman like me. I have a lot in the golf shop. I hope I never have this much anymore because people go on Amazon. We already have a golf discount. Now there's a Superstore, so it makes it a little difficult for someone like me. But
Okay.
PGA
Sure.
professionals like myself always put a pride on. We do so much, but we still play and teach.
So they offer a lot of instruction in the like simulators and stuff. Is that what?
Oh yeah, I'm sure they do.
That's what they'll aim for.
Well, it's a huge store. They're going to sell shirts, shorts, balls, clubs, tees, hats, everything.
So not only instruction, but also supplies.
Yeah, I'd say in the winter they do better with instruction. This time of year, everybody wants to be outside.
Right. Thanks.
Thank you.
Any other questions for Paul?
Yeah, Paul, I just was looking at your PGA Hope program. Is that like a volunteer program for you to go around, or is this something that if you brought them here, is that like for free, or are they going to be?
The way it works is, believe it or not, it's kind of a fairly new program. There aren't a whole lot of golf professionals and PGA members doing it. Believe it or not, we have 19 million veterans in the United States, and obviously a lot of them have disabilities. So this program's going really fast, and basically a club will, for example, I think Spook Rock and some other clubs are just doing a little 6-week program every Tuesday at 10 o'clock. And so pros like myself from various areas will just show up and, spend the morning with some of the veterans. And then I'd like to have an event here one day, which I'm sure wouldn't be a problem. But what the PGA of America does is it's free to all the veterans, and they probably would supplement the PGA Pro a little bit for going over there.
Yeah, I would fully support a day like that at Oak Hills. I think it would be very good, Paul, from my point of view, from the authorities' point of view.
Yeah, I think it'll be great. We could easily do that.
Okay.
Any further questions for Paul? Thank you, Paul.
Thank you.
Next item is our superintendent, Mr. James Shell.
Good evening, everybody. Everything is well with the course. I don't want to regurgitate everything I wrote in my report. but I will mention, I find it unbelievable that we are still considered abnormally dry according to the US Drought Monitor. We have water seeping out of the hillsides everywhere on the course.
Yeah.
And I have a hard time wrapping my mind around that. I don't know what's behind their determination. We have got, now that weather has cleared and we have some dry weather coming, we have got a lot of stuff to do on the course. I'm not telling you to stay away, but stay away. Sorry, no offense. The parking lot drainage seems to be fixed. It's paved. That's all set. We just need to rake out the soil, put some seed down, and watch it grow. I did get some preliminary prices for a cart path job for possibly the fall, but are we going to have a capital meeting anytime soon? Because I'd like to save it for that to discuss.
We could do that next Wednesday.
Okay.
If that works.
Yeah, that would be good.
Touch base with some of the governance, Jim, Mark, and we'll set something up.
Okay. And that's my report. I know it's super friendly of me to say stay away, but we're really busy. Really busy.
Well, I'm glad you're busy. I wouldn't want you sitting around doing nothing. So, I'm sorry.
Well, I just want to say, Jim, that the course plays wonderful.
Good. Thank you.
And I got the hit out of the trap on 4 today, and boy, that's the new traps are just fabulous. So
It's good stuff, isn't it?
What are you doing in the traps, Green? What are you doing in the traps, Gary?
well, it was against the wind today.
So, Gary, I trust your score is going to reduce by 4 or 5 points based upon the easy bunkers. But anyway, any questions for Jim?
Jim, I'm just curious, are you fully staffed?
No.
How are you doing on staffing?
I've got a couple of guys signed up, but for different reasons, they haven't been able to start yet. And if they do start, that leaves me 1 short. So technically I'm 3 short.
Okay.
Any other further questions for Jim? There being none, we'll move on to our controller, Mark, and hopefully the bad weather report from our golf pro hasn't affected revenue too much, but I guess we'll soon find out. Mark.
Thanks, Alan. No, the month of March was fine. It's a mild month. It's kind of that transitional period between, in the middle of winter and then obviously high season. So we opened up in the middle of it. So we did all right. We just beat budget. Nothing wild. As Paul alluded to, the membership sales for the month were fantastic and made up for a very lackluster February. So we're back in line. We're like 6 above budget. So 0.1%, whatever it is, but we're doing just fine on membership sales. And as I noted in my report, we had not booked any quarterly revenue for the restaurant yet. And Marsh had sent me the quarterly revenue share, so I booked that now. And so we'll see a slight increase in revenue, and I've sent them the utility allocation expense. And so we'll see a reduction of expenses as well. So the numbers will just get better a little bit, and by about $10,000, $12,000, I think, from what my report said. So, and on a year-to-date basis, I mean, we've been fine all along, so we're doing just that little bit better. And then in regard to budget, the budget process has started. I've met with Jim, and Paul. We had some really good conversations. We hashed out each of their departmental budgets, including wages for the staff. We also went through the commercial debt and the first drive of the capital improvement budget. So I've kind of worked it into the overall budget, but there's a lot more work to be done. So now the ball's in my court. I can basically take that and run. Tomorrow morning, I'm going to finally finish up the March financials. I'm right there. So once I do that, I have the next 2 weeks before the next month end starts to really run with the budget. And that's I just met with Alan earlier today, and that's pretty much the plan, so that we can do all the preliminary work with the finance team, all the discussions and assumptions and arguing or discussing back and forth. And then the budget will be sent out to everyone before the May meeting, so you have a chance to look through it and then ask some questions after my presentation. And then, as Alan said, we'll usually there may be some pushback, maybe some small changes, so I'll make those changes, and then we'll probably just have that vote in the June meeting.
Just, you know, one thing to note, Jim Holiday kindly forwarded me the revenue numbers for Odean's for the first quarter, January, February, March, I think it was. Because this is the time when they were open, basically, and the restaurant had not been open before. And I believe, you know, it's hard, there's nothing to benchmark it against, but I believe the revenue was in the region of about $75,000 in food and beverage revenue. I don't know if that's good or if that's bad. I think it's pretty good for a first time round. So just will give you an indication of what's been going on in the first quarter. They did have a lot of, you know, comedy nights, a lot of entertainment, Friday, Saturday, Sundays, brunches, etc. There was that. Any questions for Mark? Always a good sign when there's no questions for the controller. Next item, Jay, our general manager, James Holiday.
Thank you, Alan. As Mark alluded to, we did spend quite a bit of time reviewing budgets, and we're well, pretty close in that area. I seem to have spent quite a bit of time with the tennis area this past month. Things like reviewing information about the irrigation system, which is important for our capital plan. We did, as Denise mentioned, we do have a little freshening up of the tennis building, interior, exterior paint, and new flooring. Denise also mentioned the grant. We had to submit the accountability form in order to get that $23,750. We have also decided to sponsor a Norwalk youth baseball team, and we're doing that as a collaboration between Kings Highway Tennis, Oak Hills Park Authority, and Odean's, and that's going to allow us to hang banners at 2 ball fields. We'll see what benefit that may bring us. I think it's a good community-minded thing to do. Baseball is a big sport in Norwalk, and so that exposure will not hurt, and it's also quite reasonable. How reasonable? $250 per party, so it's very reasonable. And then, of course, the usual maintenance items, a long-range planning committee meeting. It was a productive month, and my notes are attached for anyone who has any questions now or offline. Thank you.
Thank you, Jim. Any questions for Jim, our general manager?
Yeah, just one question on the insurance visit. We had a property inspection. Anything come out of that?
Yeah, actually, that's a good question, Gary. I didn't actually do the inspection last year. I don't know where I was, but it's quite thorough. We have 13 buildings, including some that are barely buildings. But each one of them is inspected. There are notes pulled from the field card on each one of them, some of them historical data, a lot of it quite inaccurate. And we, along with Jim Shell's help, are updating that information so that it's more correct, obviously, in the event of a claim. And you all, as homeowners, may be aware that the insurance industry has gotten well, they're scrutinizing our roofs to a much greater extent. I've heard from many people on the residential end that they are being told that if they want their insurance renewed, they're going to be replacing roofs. Wow. Coincidentally, in our capital plan, we do have replacement of the halfway house, which was scheduled last year, and or we got estimates last year, but it'll be done in fiscal 2026. Our roofs are in, some of them are in, well, Jim Shell's house is new, but I think the clubhouse is gonna, they're gonna take a look at the clubhouse roof because it's original. And we may very well be, they may insist that that roof be replaced. We'll see. We'll see. It's nothing in writing or not even a request at this point, but it is something that we need to look forward to. So it's a very thorough inspection from the property and liability insurance end.
Okay, thank you.
Thank
Jim.
you. Any other questions for Jim?
Yeah, I just have one.
Yeah.
I noticed on your list, you had some first aid training to the outside golf staff.
We're
Like-
going to have that, Rich. It hasn't been scheduled yet.
Oh.
We have decided, we discussed it last year and decided that we're going to offer that this year. One of our new outside golf staff is certified. He has to become recertified in Connecticut. But yeah, it's going to be, you know, maybe a 3-hour session in groups of 4 or 5. Lots of things can happen on a golf course. Lots of things can happen on our property. There's lots of steps and just a good idea. So yes, we're going to
I
be.
know, good idea. My question was, does it include AED training?
Yes.
That was all.
Thank you, Rich. Sorry to be long-winded.
Yeah.
Okay.
Any other questions for Jim?
Yeah, one more question, please. Jim, so I guess between you and Jim, when you reevaluated the irrigation system, it sounds like what you're talking about is the valves, that really you're going to concentrate on the valves to be refitted?
Well, actually, Denise, Jim and I did speak about it, and that is the impression that he has from experience with irrigation systems. We have not done that clear evaluation. One of the parties, AquaTurf, who did present a proposal, is going to, one of their estimators is going to meet Jim when he does the work to open the irrigation system so that he can get a better sense as to what it's all about. And he also said preliminarily, it seems to me much more likely that the renovation of the irrigation system will be a retrofit. It won't be a complete reinstallation. So more will be revealed, and it will be this month or very early May. So I'll have more information for you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And just another thing about the tennis course that we're talking about. I know when we were out there recently, I saw some of the net winders were in actually bad shape. So is there any sense to replace what's needed in terms of the post and net winders before we start?
Yes, that's a very good idea. I do have it.
I just remember seeing, I think it was court 5 was rusted out. I think that one, but I just hope we check them all before we get the nets up. And if we can get them, yeah, make sure they're working well.
It's a good point, and I will follow through on that, Rich.
I think Davis had done that work originally, had changed out the winders a long time ago. So they may know, you know, the deal on how to change them out.
Jim, I had spoken with Davis. I'm sorry, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay. So I was picking up stuff that was left outside and Davis was there. This was a couple of weeks ago, and Chuck was there.
Yeah.
So he said, and maybe he just didn't follow through, that he was going to, I guess, talk to either you or Jim Holiday, because he had noticed, I guess originally he maybe had said a quote or said that, you know, he could replace them for X amount of dollars. There were 2 or 3 different posts that are rotted out. So I don't know if he ever followed through and got back to the cost of it, but he did notice it. So he was aware that they had to be changed.
I'll send him a text, see what he says.
And Jim, I also have an estimate he gave me last year. So I'll get that over to you as well.
Okay.
Any further questions for Jim? Jim, thank you. That ends the agenda item number 5 in the reports. Item number 6 is old business. Does anybody have any old business they'd like to bring before the authority?
Yeah, I'd just like to hear how the pace of play recording's going.
I can tell you we've had no complaints, pace of play. I've been out there twice. People playing quickly. I have a feeling when we have cool weather like this, you're getting some more of the serious golfers. And since the tee sheet really hasn't been full, we're not seeing delays. So I think it's been pretty good so far.
Yeah, but the pace of play is okay, but how about the recording? Are we getting the reports we expected?
Oh, yeah.
That type of
Yeah.
stuff?
Last year we would write them all down manually on a printed tee sheet. This year, our guy have iPads and they're just logging that information in right on the iPad.
Okay, great.
So that's
Yeah.
going good. I think we'll be well.
Yeah, I played in, 4 or less this morning, so I certainly don't have any complaints during the week early, so,
Let me know. I'll get out there with you next week.
okay.
Okay, no more old business. Item number 7, new business. Does anybody have any new business to bring before us today?
I thought I'd mention something maybe for discussion for you. In the past, I've had some people ask me this and was asked today if we were to ever offer any discounts to clergy, and I know we only have one man maybe interested in that, lives close by, and or veterans. Obviously after 9/11, it was really popular giving veterans and first responders discounts, but I've been asked a couple times, so that's something maybe we could discuss if we wanted to give them any break.
I think what might make sense, Jim Holiday, and I hate to give you any more work and stuff, but it might be interesting just to find out what other courses around us do, just to see if they have a membership category of veterans or clergy. If that'd be possible, Jim, if you get a spare minute.
We can do that.
And then we'll just find out, what the other courses, and then we'll, could put on the agenda. We'll make a, decision accordingly. Thank you. I just do have one item under a new business. The Oak Hills Park Authority has an executive committee, which is chairman, the vice chairman, and the treasurer, and these are pretty much voted on and nominated by the authority members. And we're putting together a small nominating committee just from the authority to do that. So I'll probably be reaching out shortly to a couple of members to form a nominating committee, and then there'd be some recommendations, and the vote would be taken at the actual June meeting. So anything else on new business? There being none, we will now close the regular session and go into executive session. That's the Zelma Roundtree. If we could ask the authority members to join us for this, and then we'll go back into the regular session. Thank you, management team. Appreciate it.
Good night,
Good night,
everyone.
everybody.
Thank
Good
you.
night.
Appreciate your time. Happy Easter.
Yeah,
Good
happy
night.
Easter.
See you at this time. Yes, welcome back from executive session. There was no need for any votes to be taken for any issues that were discussed. No decisions were made on the issues of the contract issue for tennis. So moving on to item number 9, agenda adjournment. I would entertain a motion to adjourn the meeting.
So moved.
There you go.
We have a second.
A second.
Thank you, Jennifer. All those in favor, please say aye or raise your hand.
Aye.
Aye.
I think that's unanimous. Thank you all. We will see you in May. Thank you very much. Goodbye.
Jeff, I have a question for you.
Question for me, okay.
Are you a tennis player?
I am a tennis player, yep. I play, as I said, at Bailey Beach, and then I'm also part of a couple of USTA teams out of Kings Highway.
Well, you know, we have a UST at Oak Hills, and I'll put you on our list for tennis.
Okay,
Friday.
yeah, no, please do. Yep. Once it, again, I think I joined too late last fall. Tennis season was over, but yeah, absolutely would love to, certainly
Yeah,
planning on
yeah.
playing some tennis
At
over there.
least it'll keep you in the loop. So
Yep.
great to have another
Love
tennis.
to do it.
Okay, bye, everybody.
Good night.